Hi and welcome. My name is Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to go ahead and look at the different ways to insert a chart within Microsoft Excel. And with that, let's get started. If you want to follow along, go ahead and download the exercise file 08.02, and that's what we'll be using in this video. So in the last video, we kind of discussed the broad topics within charts, things like clicking on a chart and then having the quick tools of the chart elements, chart styles, and chart filters. We discussed the idea of the chart tools, whether that be the design tab or the format tab. Now, in this example, we were kind of just looking at two different regions. Let's go to Insert Chart Example, the second spreadsheet on our Excel workbook. And we have an example where we have perhaps 4 individual quarters, 4 individual regions, and then we have totals for those regions, or for those quarters, as well as totals for those regions. Now, if we were to insert a chart, the simplest way to do that would be to select our data. Let's say that we want to select the range of B1 to F6, and then we would go to Insert. And then once on the Insert tab, we would go to the Charts group. And you could go ahead and click in essentially recommended charts, which we'll discuss in a later video. You can then suggest or consider using these individual groups. So this is column, this is bar, this is line, maybe pie. Let's go ahead and do a column chart. We then would have subgroups that we can consider using. And as we scroll over these, Microsoft Excel will give us a live preview of what it would look like. Let's say that I like this clustered column. We'll click that and it would automatically insert a chart. Now, once you've inserted a chart, it's going to usually populate the design tab and you will have the different chart styles. So let's start on the left here. As we'll discuss in a later video, you have different chart elements which you can add, or you can add via that button there. You have the quick layout, which would kind of change the different levels of grid lines and maybe numbers up top. Let's say that I kind of like this one. Then you can change the style, which kind of is the background or coloring. Maybe I really like that one, although it's a bit messy. So you could select that style and then maybe a different layout. So say that we've figured out these individual items. We can then go ahead and change the chart title by double clicking, and we could say sales. Maybe we'll do this as tech company. Sales by region. Maybe it would even be 2014 sales by region. We'll look at how we can modify each of these individual elements as we progress through the course. But let's just say that we had created a graph in that way. So the way that we created a graph was we went and selected the data, went to the Insert tab, and then picked the type of graph we wanted to insert. If we want to delete a graph, we would click on that graph or that chart and then hit the delete key. Now, one common mistake that I make myself and I see other people making is they might select something with the total column. So let's say that rather than go from B1 to F6, we're going to go from B1 to G6. This would include the totals column. And if we were to then insert a chart, do the same kind of chart, you'll notice that there's this huge difference and we're essentially double counting all of these values. So it's north plus south plus east plus west equals the total. And so the chart is pretty far off and it's not very representative of what we might otherwise want. So we could either select the data and remove one of these elements. We could come in here and we could say remove the category of total. Or we could just recreate a chart. That too would be an option. So I'm going to delete this. And now there's a couple of keyboard shortcuts that you might want to look at. So we can either select the data like we did before and go to Insert. That didn't work. Insert a chart by clicking one of those, or you have two options. If you want to insert a chart on the same tab or on the same worksheet, you can press the Alt key and the F1 key. Pressing the Alt key and the F1 key would automatically generate a chart on that tab that you have. That, when I say tab, I mean worksheet that you have selected. Secondly, you could select your data. Let's select our data here. And if you press the F11 function key, that would automatically generate a chart on a new worksheet. So we have this selected, we press F11, it would create a new worksheet with that chart on it. So in the next video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the idea of recommended charts within Microsoft Excel. We'll kind of discuss how you might create a recommended chart and then perhaps modify it for your own needs. So join us for that in the next video, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.